We're not live right now, but we will be. Howdy. Good? How's it going, fellas?
Good, how are you?
Good. Ready to play some ball?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for another edition of YBMcast. And as always, I'm joined by my cohort, Mitch Thomas. Mitch, what's up?
How you doing, sir?
And today we have the tournament wrap-up show, Game 7 Baseball. Dave Pinning joining us on the show. Did you like that?
Good morning.
Was that dramatic?
Is that where he's at?
Good morning, Dave.
Is that where he's at on the screen?
What?
Over here?
I don't know if he's over here on the screen. Did
I'm over here.
He's over here. Well, he went over here, and I was like, I don't know if he's waving.
It's over here?
It's over there. All the way. That way. Okay, that way.
Dave's good to see you, man.
Fellas, thanks for having me again on this weekend wrap-up show. Looking forward to getting into this.
Yeah. So we were over at Ozzie's. Had a great 2 days. Got to watch Mitch play a little ball for the first time. Got to see his team over there with the 14s. How was it over in Chesterfield?
Windy and cold.
Dang, that's the same.
Yeah, windy and cold.
No, but all fairness aside, there were other tournament directors in town and facilities and parks that did not even play on Saturday. So I want to recognize Chesterfield and the city of O'Fallon and Ozzie's there for getting us on the field on Saturday, because you well know it rained for like 3 days straight here. And, the extreme cold didn't help drying matters much, but Friday's wind helped it. But by the time Saturday come around, we were wishing that the wind would stop. So be careful what you wish for.
Right.
We got it.
Yeah, the sun did not matter whatsoever. We played late on Saturday, so I didn't get to see how the fields were, but I thought the fields at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock when we started were in pretty good shape. So that's off to Ozzie's, because that's where we were playing.
No doubt about it. We did experience a little bit of a delay. However, we had some pushback time. We did experience a 2-hour delay, and when you do experience a 2-hour day, it's not just affecting the teams. It affects your whole staff and umpires, and we respect their time. We got a great core of guys out there, and they had to adhere to the 2-hour delay as well. And we are having a new scheduling platform for these guys as well. So a lot of you that have been acclimated with tournament baseball kind of know what goes on behind the scenes, but man, there's a lot of moving parts that everybody don't really see until you get out there. And a lot of work takes place before that first pitch is even thrown. And I just want to say thank you to my staff. It was phenomenal staff this weekend, great umpires, and thanks for your ability to adapt to the 2-hour delay, because a couple of the guys had, for instance, I know had a couple hockey tickets, and they were scheduled to only for like the 9-11 and 1 o'clock game. So we had to, make a bunch of phone calls and get their back end covered so they can attend that game. But hey, that's what it's all about when you assimilate a good staff, a good crew like Game 7 has. And I normally don't toot our own horn, but in this case, I think we do need to toot it because we have a very good product, and it showed this weekend. I mean, that was a phenomenal showing this weekend by our staff and our umpires. And a lot of times, they're not going to make the right call, but for the most, as a core, as a whole, they did a great job, and I just want to acknowledge them on the show here today.
Yeah, that's big time. As a coach and a parent, having to just see that on the outside, looking in, you get frustrated with maybe those start times and things like that. And I think that's good information that you're putting out there to let people know there's a lot more to this than simply wanting to be a 2-hour delay. I can almost guarantee that you probably don't want that. You don't want that change. And so I think it's important for people to know, some of those behind the scenes. So that's good. And plus, this is my first time playing in your event, and even coaching baseball in quite a few years. But I was thoroughly impressed with the umpire staff that we had, umpiring crew we had on both days. I like that they were friendly. I like that they gave information to pitchers, just behind the plate. They were helping catchers out, helping players out on the field, having conversation with them in situations. I really like that. It's just another voice on the field. And I'm not sure if that's supposed to happen or not, but I appreciated the professionalism by your crew that I had. And they seem to have played baseball before too. So it was nice to have a little bit of all of that. Really nice job this weekend for sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mitch. Appreciate that. We work hard at it, and my guys, like I said, I'll go to bat for them anytime because they are a part of our family, and it shows. I mean, they're great. You treat people the way they want to be treated, and they'll come back, and that's the way we do it here at Game 7.
Mitch and I have been talking about this. We had a good conversation here. It's going to come up here real soon. We're talking about quit yelling at the umpires. We all understand as an umpire, you're going to get a new and all. You're going to get that. Come on, Blue, you missed that one. And you got to be able to take that stuff. I don't care. It's just when it gets, people start taking things too personally. It's a game. Remember, it's a game. These guys are human beings. Did anybody remember seeing the professional umpire blow a call on a no-hitter again for the White Sox? A perfect game.
Perfect game.
And the guy felt terrible.
Last call of the game.
Exactly. So those things do happen at every level. Sometimes they happen in situations that you don't want them to. It's just the way it is. We need to be better about helping our kids understand that, those things will happen. It's how you overcome that. It's how you face that adversity. It's how you put yourself in and keep your mind in the right place instead of cussing and screaming at the person, taking that and going, come on, Blue, you missed that one. Okay, I can take that. Well, maybe I did, It happens. But teaching, it's a teaching moment, right, Dave?
Yeah, I'll sum it up like this. Usually, my inbox and voicemail box will get some feedback from the weekend, which we appreciate 100%.
Yeah,
good and bad. But this weekend, it was flooded with positive phone calls, and I can honestly say the worst one was that the concession stand ran out of hot chocolate and coffee this weekend. So I think we did something right.
Just
there
a
you
little.
Go. There you go.
Just a little bit.
That's it, man. I love that.
Yeah, and then I'm stressing the umpires and my staff, but I want to say thanks to our customers as well, because you know what? They understood the situation, and very, very little, everybody's concerned. Let's get at that. We are concerned too as well. We wouldn't have put them out there if we didn't feel it was safe. We knew it was going to be a little breezy, but for the most part, everybody was just happy to be at the ballpark. It was a good aura, good feeling at the ballpark. Everybody was in a good mood and just happy to play baseball. And I thank them for hanging in there. The Saturday was a little chilly, a little windy, but you know what? They still had a smile on their face, and everybody got to come out and play the entire tournament. And we'd have to shorten well, I think in the 14U we had to chop games a little bit because of the size of that tournament. On Saturday, we had to go, I think, to 1:30 from 1:40. But other than that, the tournament was played into its entirety, full boat. So thanks, coaches, thanks, players, and thanks, fans, for hanging in there with us.
It was a fun tournament. We had a great time Saturday. We did some great interviews. There's some walk-offs, man. We had a great time talking to the kids. Had the one young man, Dawson Lancaster from Illinois Gators, throw a one-hit shutout in his first outing. I mean, there was some good stuff happening this weekend, and I just want to shout out, saw a home run. We'll get to that here in just a minute with our top award, but there was so many, and Gas House got Cameron McCole walked off first game of the tournament. It was a lot of fun, a lot of excitement around there. Had great conversation with folks. Let's talk about some champions. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right. 8U division, machine pitch, correct? Now, I have to give some props. This is me personally. I love this stuff because I still have my favorite 8U youth baseball team name is the Snot Rockets. There was a team out of Arkansas named the Snot Rockets. And this one is pretty good here, Dave. The champs from that weekend. Go ahead and tell us what it is.
Berserk Brigade from Liberty, Missouri, coached by James Hudson. Now, I told you I was looking forward to this 8U machine pitch division, and it's always a fun division. They cheer the loudest, and they get it. It's a great time. A lot of I can't speak for other tournament companies, but what we do here at Game 7 is we put a seasoned veteran on all machine pitch games. Several reasons, I won't get into it, but the gentleman that we had there this weekend, his son played throughout the ranks. Now he's a sophomore in high school. So he's been with us for quite some time, and he knows talent when he sees it. And when I got down there on Saturday, I was doing my rounds. I was at Chesterfield. I called him over and said, "Hey, how's it going?" And he said, "Hey, partner." He goes, "This team's for real. They can play some defense," and that means a lot at 8U because a lot of people can hit the ball, but if you look, numbers don't lie. And before we get into this, I want to point it out to everybody that they can find the archive history and events on the past results tab under the events. Click on that and you can reference all of our past results. And if you go to that particular venue in the 8U machine pitch, it gives you their runs scored, runs allowed. In 5 games, they went 5-0. Okay, 5-0 machine pitch now. And only gave up, let's see here. Where did my screen go? 21 runs in 5 games, which is an average of 4.2 per game. I mean, that's phenomenal. That's
at 8U?
Really oh 8U, yeah. So Joe was spot on with that, saying, "Hey, partner, these guys can play some defense here." So congratulations to those guys. The Gamers, they met the Gamers in the final, and it was a very good ball game. What was it, 9-8, the final?
Yeah, 9-8 final. And Gamers Academy, kudos to them. It was a great championship game there for 8U. I mean, honestly, like you said, Dave, a 9-8 ball game at 8U machine pitch, they played a good game.
Yeah, the team from Liberty, they traveled well too. They had their side of the stands were packed.
Well, they're in my top 10 youth baseball names. Berserk Brigade. How do you not love that? The Berserk Brigade. You gotta love it. That just always, it's just one of those ones that just kind of goes, yeah, it stands out. Let's go on. 9U AA. The champs in that division out of Pacific, the Stingrays, took on the Gamers Academy. I don't know how to pronounce that coach's name, Dave. Do you know?
Koseki?
Is that what it is?
Well, that's what we're going to go with today on the show.
Coach, if we messed it up, let us know. So we got that there. 11U, the champs there, Extreme Baseball, Coach Robinson defeated the St. Louis Spikes in the championship game there. And here's one that's really unique, and Dave's going to elaborate on this. In the 12U AA, The championship game was played between the St. Louis Clutch and the St. Louis Explosion. But go ahead, Dave. I'll let you elaborate on this one.
Yeah, every 5 years it seems to be, with all due respect from all the teams from coast to coast, nationwide, and especially here in the Midwest, it seems to always get that team that's going to come out of this area, and you're going to say, you know what, it's that team. And this year, it is the 10U major clutch team. And I say 10U, you heard me correctly, they won the 12U division. What it is, it's a combination of Cranwetter and Kenning from last year. They played 10U. Their sons were young enough to stay back and play 10U. So here again, it's going to be that team from this area. Like I said, about every 5 years, one of those teams come along, and I do believe that this is going to be that team from the Midwest that you're going to say, hey, I'm proud they come from my area.
That's pretty unusual, isn't it?
Well, they got a long way to go. They got. I mean, they still got to grow. Hopefully they continue to keep working, and knowing that group over there, you can foresee that happening with how they're going to be able to push their kids until they reach that high school level and beyond.
Yeah, but still, when you look at that, I think that's an impressive thing. You're going up 2 age levels. You're playing kids that good solid 12U teams. And taking that challenge, and it shows you the talent that they do have, in my opinion. Not that those other teams are terrible or bad. It's just, as Dave said, that's kind of, you see this every so often. It doesn't come around. There's a lot of talent there. Yeah, they'll continue to grow. We'll see what happens then, but I think you got to give them a little bit of love there. This is 12U AA. They're 10U. And you go up, and still, you're talking about at 12U, these kids usually are growing much.
Oh yeah, probably
much
a
bigger,
foot taller,
right? I don't know. I saw Cranwetter's team last year a little bit. Kids were pretty average in size. It didn't look like they had any just kids out of proportion. But so I don't know if they've grown any or much, whatnot. I haven't seen them yet. Did you see any big giant kids?
As their one of their Delcourt refers them to, the mini mites, and they're still small, they're still growing. But I tell you what, another thing to take in consideration is they also had to play a longer base distance and 50 foot pitching and 70-foot bases. So
I didn't even think about that piece.
So you talk about pitching right there. That's a huge impact on the velocity that you're dealing with there, moving back. What is that, 10 feet, Dave? No, 5 feet.
Well, 40, the 9s and 10s are 46, 65.
Okay.
And then 11s and 12s would be 50, 70.
So 4 foot difference in pitching. That it is. So big shout out to Josh. Appreciate that. And challenging his kids. I think it's an interesting, it gives you a good barometer of where you're going. And we talk about AAA major teams. I mean, that's a legit major team.
Absolutely.
In my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've been together for a couple years, if I can recall, as a group. And so that just goes to show that if we can stick together with our teams, this might, for the future, have good baseball being played. And challenging these young men instead of switching teams, and I'm not trying to throw that out there, but they've had success.
Yes.
And they've been together since they've been playing T-ball. So it's in the pudding, right?
It is in the pudding. And so you had a 12U AAA major division as well. You had a couple of Under Armour St. Louis Prospects teams facing off. Good ball game, a 3-1 final. Is that Rogers' team that came out on top?
It was Rogers, correct. It was the Battle of the Prospects.
And
Rogers on top.
Sepich.
We're going with it.
I love Dave. He says, that's it.
Hey, we're 2 for 2 for today.
So big shout out to the Prospect squads there. Jumping in there. Dave, we've got the 13U AA. Again, another good championship game there. You had a couple teams. You had Jeff City Mo, the Arsenal from Jeff City Mo. I love the fact that you're getting a lot of these key teams coming from Illinois, Mid-Mo, we saw the Midmo Sliders yesterday in the 14U. There's a lot of teams traveling in.
Nice mix of teams, especially on our first weekend here on the Missouri side. It was a nice mix of teams.
Absolutely. Runners up there, the Eureka Eagles, over there in St. Louis County. So now the 13U AAA major, there was just the 3 teams. So you just kind of did a round robin, yeah?
Yeah, we had a team back out at the last minute there, unfortunately, and we tried to fill it, but I called all 3 coaches and I told them, I said, hey, it's only a 3-game minimum, but for hanging in there with us, what's your thoughts? Let's play each other twice, and therefore you'll get 4 games. And at that point, they're like, you know what, Dave, we just want to get some games under our belt. Let's go for it. So thanks for being understanding, guys. And they had a good time out there. They got some innings in under their belt, and that's what it's all about, especially when you get to the older ages.
Absolutely. I
Right.
have to.
Is that what you would do?
I want to play.
Yeah.
So I'll do whatever it takes. I mean, we're already expecting it to play anyway. So why don't we just get out there? Now, if the weather was real nice, I might get my boat loaded and go fishing. But the weather was terrible, so we'll just go play baseball. No, I'm kidding. I go play baseball. My parents would absolutely kneecap me if we didn't go play, and I went fishing. They would destroy me.
I think Dave would probably go with you.
Jump in the boat right with you, Mitch.
Let's go. I got room for 2.
Oh,
3.
mercy. So our spotlight division this year, we got the 14U AA's, the final of the championship game between the Illinois Gators Coach Yates squad and Gas House Baseball Coach Basta. 5-0. It was a really good game. Went full 7 innings. There was some really good plays, some big hits and whatnot. Gas House, they had their opportunities, just couldn't push that, just couldn't push it to that next level. That's baseball, right? So
Yeah, you talk about a team that's been together. They, Jim, I know Jim for quite some time, and he's been with the same core group since they were like 7 years old. They may have added 1 or 2 here down the road, but yeah, they've been together since they were 7 years old.
is that right?
Changed names and colors or whatnot, but for the most part, their roster has stayed the same.
That's very good, and you can see they've got some solid kids on there. They play hard. It was a fun weekend, and I want to get your thoughts on that 14U group that you saw out there.
I saw, you see some growth, and I mean in the athletes. We are my group's a little bit younger, and I know some of the other coaches that were there. They were a little younger, and we were significantly smaller. I thought that Illinois Gators team was big.
Yeah.
I thought that the Gas House team, coached by Basta, was big. I just like the depth of the groups. You saw a lot of depth in that Gators team and in Gas House, guys that they threw out there. And I thought the division was overall competitive.
Yeah.
There was 11 teams in that group, and I feel like that there was 9 that was a really good AA tournament. I thought it was pretty, fair. We had won our first game 9-6. We tied our second game. We ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw with the sliders, and we made some mistakes. But we played a team from Quincy. We played a team from. I didn't ask for the sliders where they were from, but they were mid-Missouri, so I assumed Columbia, Jeff City, or wherever they're from. And so again, just traveling all over, it's nice to play those teams instead of the same group that you're going to see all summer long. So I really enjoyed it. I thought that what I liked about some of those better teams there, the communication. When you got to sneak a peek and watch, and they just played. They just played the game, had a lot of fun with each other, and that's nice to see because high school ball is going to have to be that way.
Yeah,
you're going to have to be outgoing.
Yeah.
On the field, and so that's what I'm trying to get my group to do, so hopefully. We can see those teams again and compete just a little bit better. I mean, we were 1-1-1, so I can't really complain on our side. I needed to prepare our fellas a little bit better. We had practice last night to kind of go over those situations that we failed in and make adjustments. No such thing as failure, right? But I really like that 14U group, and I know that we're playing a lot of Game 7, and again, going back to the umpires, The umpires were good for us. The fans on both sides were good. And people that we played, there was no back and forth between teams that were obnoxious. It was just a good group of young men trying to play, and a good group of fans, and a good group of umpires.
Very good. Love that experience, right?
It was my first one.
The
Love to
games.
hear that, Mitch.
Say it louder.
And that's just, and you're being honest. I mean, this isn't a matter of, you coming on and we're just, saying what Dave wants us to say. No, that's not it.
Well, I mean, I could give some feedback that's negative. I mean, Tony called a balk on us with 2 outs and a runner at third base that scored the tying run. I think his name was Tony. I know Jared was behind the dish that game. So, I mean, I can complain, I guess. If you want me to. If you want me to give you some negative feedback. No, it was good. He balked. I mean, actually, we had several kids that balked, and he was trying to work through and help everybody out. But this was blatant. He needed to be called for the balk. So I didn't complain. The pitcher said, I screwed up, coach. I apologize. I said, you don't need to apologize. Just fix it. And he said, I got you. So learning opportunities. And it was a 4-3 ball game. We were down, and we came back and scratched some runs. So I like to fight in 14U.
Yeah.
At any moment you can come back and put a team down. And if you get them feelings, losing that little bit of confidence, things change in a heartbeat.
Yes.
In a heartbeat. It happens fast.
And that was kind of what it was in that semifinal game between Midmo, who you played. They ended up losing to the Gators in that semifinal. But the pitcher that came out there, that Midmo, he had some good stuff. He kept them off balance. They were in the game. They made some plays. They were making some hits. And it just, though, it's what we talk about all the time. And this is what you see sometimes, and you were alluding to, is depth. Mm-hmm. Which I think in a tournament at this age level, it really shows you who's got the depth in their squads, especially at pitching. Mm-hmm. And when you're playing 5-6 games in a weekend, that really comes to its place. And I think that's the toughest thing. That's tournament baseball. Depth and what you're doing there, and that's what it is.
Did that lefty throw for Midmo to start the game, number 44?
No, it was number 11, I think is Jesse.
They had a little lefty that I liked that came out there. Kind of reminded me of like an Anthony Rizzo. He wore 44, so he's left-handed, played first base. Just different.
Yeah.
I like the way he carried himself. Just
Them
had
lefties
fun.
are a little different.
Well, they're always different. Lefties are backwards. They're wired different. Are you a lefty?
Yes, I am.
Oh, boy. Did you pitch too?
Yes, I did.
Oh, man.
Don't you know his statue's out in front of Mobab still, man?
Oh, I
The
didn't know
legend.
that.
There, man. The maintenance guy shines it up every Monday morning.
It makes sense.
Come by
It
and
all
check
makes
it out.
sense.
Go stand.
Oh, man, you lefties.
yeah,
Were you a bullpen guy?
What's that?
Were you a bullpen guy? Like were a relief arm,
actually-
or were you a starter?
Actually, I started my earlier years, and then as we got better, I guess at Mobab, I was kind of pushed to the bullpen.
So that's where you got weird.
I've always been weird.
Now, bullpen pitcher, and the people won't understand this until they get to the next, like the college level. You really see it, and then professionally, the lefties in the bullpen that have the binoculars, like scouring stands, and some of the things that the games that you guys play in there are really backwards. You guys are backwards.
Creative lines in the bullpen down there. We had some fun.
Oh man, everybody needs lefties though in life.
Well, we want to get to it, and we'll have this picture. We had our first top award of the season, and I love what Game 7 did here with we're giving out the hats for the top award. I love the gold with the Game 7 on the back there. We have the top award on the back of that. And our first recipient came from the Illinois Gators, Jake. I don't know why I said that. Parker Wolf. Parker Wolf had a really good series. I know just in the semifinal game, hit a home run.
Yeah! Come on, Parker! Come on! Woo!
I mean, hit a shot. Ball came off the bat. I saw him hit a triple.
Let's score, Brock! Two. Let's three.
Get down!
Braxton.
He was driving guys in, got hit by a pitch.
That was intentional.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
just played a whale of a game. Good kid, great parents. They were very nice. So now he's got to write the essay. And it was funny. I was talking to the coaches after. I said, Coach, he goes, oh, I'll get him to write it. He said, that's great. I love that. So, I love the support, the participation from the coaches and being out there. And because this is, as we've talked about on numerous occasions, about giving back, but yet helping these kids understand that it's more than baseball, right? So congrats to Parker Wolf, our first recipient of the Top Award for 2020. And it was a good weekend, wasn't it, Dave?
A phenomenal weekend, Brian. I can't, like I said, I can't stress enough. Everybody was cooperative. Like I said, the fans, we knew they watched the weather. They knew what they were in for. My staff, my umpires, coaches, players. It was just a really good weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got another one coming up, a big one. I'm looking at the website and I'm like, dang. What'd you kick? I mean, you got Missouri, Illinois, and Tennessee. You got events in Branson, St. Genevieve, St. Peter's, Chesterfield. You're Quincy, of course, the Nashville area. I mean, wow, Dave.
Busy weekend. So the old website's going to get a workout this weekend.
I love the fact, the Branson tournament down there, you guys are doing those have really filled up very nicely, haven't they?
Yeah, they sold out really early. It's a beautiful place to go down there and play. It's really nice. And you got, like, if you're a fisherman like Mitch and I, you got Table Rock Lake right there.
Yeah, we're going down early Friday because we're going to the event. So we're going down a little early. And I'm going down. I don't have a kid that plays on a team, so my significant other and I are going down early. We're actually celebrating our 27th anniversary today, so little love to the spouses, significant others out there that are traveling around, chasing us, coaches, directors, media, you name it. Without you guys, it can't be possible because we take a lot of time away from our families. So. But she's going down there with me, so if you can recommend me a place to go eat, she's probably not going to want to fish Table Rock with the 50-degree weather. She may fish the bank for some crappie, but if anybody's got some place for me to go eat down there, it's been a while since I've been down in Branson, so somewhere nice.
There you go.
Yeah, there's that's the thing. It's a destination city. You just want to get to where you're going because that strip can get bumper to bumper traffic, man. It's a little frustrating, but
what does it go? If you go down to the landing, there's some really good restaurants there, right on the landing. Justin, you've been down there a little bit. Dave, I'm sure you have too. There's some pretty good places to eat down there, isn't there?
I know them all. I'll talk to you, Mitch.
Oh yeah, you just send me some info and keep me away from that strip. We stayed at that little place at the indoor water park. They have the big breakfast in the morning.
Oh yeah,
we had a blast when we went there when my kids were smaller. My daughter shut down the pool, so that was fun. That was a blast. I'm excited for this because we're playing a wood bat, and so we've been swinging some wood. The boys asked me if I wanted to this weekend. I said maybe not the first weekend out. We don't need to break them, but I'm excited to go down there and see it. Obviously, back-to-back weekends is nice to see how our boys are going to grow from week to week too. So I'm excited for the tournament. I think we actually go down there twice, once for softball as well, because I also coach softball. So I'm looking forward to the park.
Very good. Dave, any final thoughts there, bud?
No, Jody last weekend had that monster tournament, 135 teams, and keep in mind, that was only 7U through 12U. She didn't even have any 13 or 14. So that went off without a hitch down there. 135 teams. So kudos to her. Good job, Jody. And this busy weekend, that's why we pay the big money for our own server for this website. So it's going to get a test this weekend with 6 different venues going on, and you've got Darren up north with his first one, and St. Genevieve, their first one as well. So it's going to be a busy weekend. Looking forward to it. Hopefully Mother Nature cooperates with us and we get it all in.
Absolutely. We're going to have to get the folks from Tennessee on the show, man. We got to get them in here.
Yeah, I want to. Dave, could you go back and say how many locations do you have this weekend?
There's 6. I do
6.
believe.
6 total.
Yeah.
1, 2. Yeah, 6.
Wow, that's awesome. And how many? And just because I'm just curious, and so for our fans watching the show, how many could you have in a weekend? And I'm assuming, is this just Midwest only, or is it a national thing?
That's the only state that we're not actively having a tournament this weekend, which we do offer tournaments, is in Kentucky. That's in 2 weeks. But other than that, we are full bore in Illinois, Missouri, and Tennessee this week. So
I gotcha.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Kentucky will be added in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, man. That's great stuff. Awesome. Hey, another week, another tournament down. Arch Madness in the books. Looking forward to, I believe it's the Spring Swing. I believe it is, yes?
Coming up next?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Well, Mitch, Dave Schmidt and I will be down in Branson, so.
All right.
Oh,
I see what's going to happen. We're good. We don't have to talk about it here. I can see I have no kids. So,
family friendly.
The show is.
Oh, man. Hey, guys,
Your
great
anniversary.
week.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dave, as always. Appreciate it. Everybody, thanks for being part of Game 7 Baseball, Youth Baseball Midwest. We appreciate it. Mitch, always a pleasure. Yes, Dave, sir. Thanks, buddy. Everybody have a great day in the Lord. All you pitchers, keep throwing strikes, and you hitters,
hit him where they ain't. I was going to change it.
Do it, man. I don't care.
No, it wasn't.
Because all the kids do. I got to hit a dinger, bro.
I just want to see him swing for it, man. I would tell you, there's some boys out there that go back to this again. They get after it.
Yes,
I love
they do.
Get after it.
We'll see y'all next time.